The movie opens in the summer of 1973 in a backyard, where young Michael Jordan is practicing basketball in the middle of the night. His father soon joins him, and Jordan tells his dad that he dreams of playing in the NBA, and adds that he also wants to play baseball just like his father did. 20 years later, following his father's death, Jordan retires from basketball and announces to continue his career in baseball. Meanwhile, somewhere in outer space is an amusement park on a small planet named Moron Mountain, which is on the verge of shutting down because of obsolete means of entertainment. The proprietor, Mr. Swakam, asks his sink Nerdlucks to think of new attractions when one of them suggests Looney Tunes. Mr. Swakam is impressed and orders them to abduct the Looney Tunes to use them as the latest attractions in their amusement park. On Earth, Jordan is not at his best form while playing baseball and is soon strike out. But such is his fame that everyone on the ground tries to cheer him up. Just as he returns to his seat, an assigned assistant, Stan Podolak, greets Jordan and almost intimidates Jordan as he claims he will not let anyone bother him. Just then, a loud sound distracts everyone, and a car flies over their heads, puzzling everyone. The quintet of minions is driving the car, and after flying in the air for some time, they make their way underground and enter the world of Looney Tunes and hold Bugs Bunny as their prisoner. An emergency Looney Tunes meeting is conducted where the Nerdlucks declare that all the Looney Tunes are their hostages. However, Bugs Bunny convinces the Nerdlucks to give them a chance to defend themselves and challenges the Nerdlucks to a game of basketball, considering the game will be an advantage to them as the Nerdlucks are smaller in stature. The Nerdlucks readily accept the challenge, but then ask about the sport. After extensive research, they find everything about the game and decide to infiltrate various games, steal the talents of the 5 best players, and use their talent to transform themselves into gigantic, muscular, super strong creatures called the Monstars. Looney Tunes are flabbergasted at such a turn of events and realize they need professional help. Back on Earth, the news about the best basketball players infected with some disease that has affected their hand-eye coordination has quickly spread, and the doctors start running tests on them. The other players too fear for their safety and are reluctant to go into the locker rooms. To take his mind off of such events, Jordan goes out to play golf with his friends Bill Murray, Larry Bird, and Stan Podolak on a bright sunny day when he gets pulled into the Looney Tunes universe through the divot, leaving his friends astounded. Jordan is surprised to see Bugs Bunny and the other Looney Tunes right in front of him, and after being roughed around a little, Bugs explains the situation to him. Initially, Jordan is reluctant to help because he has been out of practice, but then the Monstars step in and mock Jordan. They call him a chicken and then curl him into a ball and toss him around. The experience is enough to change Jordan's mind, and he agrees to help the Looney Tunes and earn his pride back, thus forming the Toon Squad. Watching the monstrosity of the game they are playing, Jordan feels helpless till Lola Bunny joins them. Bugs Bunny is instantly smitten by Lola but fails to make a good first impression and ends up getting beaten by Lola in a one-on-one match. Jordan starts their preparation but realizes he can't play well in formal shoes, so he asks Bugs and Daffy Duck to go to his house and bring his basketball gear. Bugs and Daffy retrieve the gear and are about to leave when Jordan's dog attacks them, but Jordan's kids come to their rescue and stop their dog from ripping off their dad's gear. The kids are curious to know what Bugs and Daffy are doing in their house, and Bugs tells them about the upcoming game and asks them to keep it a secret. The children promise to keep it a secret as Bugs and Daffy take their leave. While they are leaving, they are spotted by Stan, who is still on the golf course trying to find Jordan by digging up the divot. Stan decides to follow them after he hears Jordan's name in their conversation and is elated to see Jordan doing well. Since he is there, Jordan includes Stan on the team. Meanwhile, on Earth, the inability of the quintet of NBA athletes leads to widespread alarm across the country, ultimately resulting in a halt to the season. It is D-Day, and the Looney Tunes gear themselves for the big match, and the game commences upon the arrival of Swakhammer. The Monstars dominate the first halftime as they resort to brutality and aggression, lowering the Toon Squad's morale. Upon sensing something off, Stan decides to follow the Monstars and eavesdrop on their conversation with Swakhammer, where they confess to stealing the talents of the best NBA players. The Monstars, however, spot him spying and beat him up before letting him go. Stan rushes back to the Toon Squad's locker room and tells them what he heard, which explains what happened to the 5 NBA players. Jordan is furious and will not let those aliens push him around, so together with Bugs, who disguised as a plain water bottle as Jordan's secret stuff, motivates the Toon Squad. Filled with newfound zeal, Toon Squad starts playing the second half and performs well using each character's talents. They soon catch up to the Monstars' score, but Swakhammer calls for a timeout. During the timeout, when Swakhammer insists on taking Jordan to the Moron Mountain, Jordan raises the stake and says if Toon Squad wins, the Monstars must relinquish their stolen talent. But if Monstars win, Jordan is willing to give up his freedom and accompany them to the Moron Mountain to become the latest attraction. Swakhammer wouldn't let such a chance slip and instructs the Nerdlucks to crush the Toon Squad. The Monstars become increasingly violent and end up hurting most of the Toon Squad. With no option left, Jordan asks Stan to become the 5th player, but he too ends up getting injured and taken away by the medics. Jordan notices how Stan's body is contorted in the Looney Tune world, which would have been impossible for him to do on Earth. He devises a plan, and with 10 seconds left and down by 1 player, Jordan, Bugs, Lola, and Daffy are ready to play. But the rule of the game states if a team is short by a player, they will have to forfeit the game. Just then, Murray unexpectedly arrives and joins the team as the 5th player. It might have been the producer of the movie who put Murray there, not that anybody is asking. In the final seconds, Jordan gains the ball with the help of Murray but is pulled back as he is about to score. Using cartoon physics, Jordan stretches his arm and achieves a slam dunk, winning the game. Swakhammer is furious and starts reprimanding the Nerdlucks, but Jordan makes them realize they only put up with Swakhammer because they were once smaller in size. The Nerdlucks have had enough, and they ship Swakhammer into a missile and send him off to the moon. As promised, the Nerdlucks relinquish the stolen talent into the ball and decide to stay in the Looney Tunes universe. Jordan bids Looney Tunes goodbye and returns to Earth and meets the 5 players. He makes them touch the basketball, which contains their talents. Initially reluctant, the players give in after thinking they have tried everything so one more trick wouldn't hurt. But to their surprise, their talents return, and they rejoice. The players then turn to Jordan, and their remarks make Jordan return to NBA, where he remains the undefeated star.